Welcome back here, guys, to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. A lot of rumors circulating regarding free agency in the last 24 to 48 hours. We're post-combine now. We're coming towards the end of the time where players can be franchised, and free agency starts here in a little less than 2 weeks. So a lot of rumors to get to today and analyze. Let's start with Darrelle Revis and the possibility that in his second year with the Bucs, before his second year, he could possibly be traded after signing, that nearly $100 million deal last year after being traded from the Jets to the Buccaneers. And, if a team is willing to take on that $16 million salary that Revis is going to command next year and in subsequent years, I could definitely see him being moved. It's just a matter of finding a trade partner. Let's not forget that, the regime that's in place now didn't sign him to this lucrative deal. And for that matter, they didn't sign Deshaun Goldson to his over $8 million a year either. That's roughly $24 million in salary to two players at the safety position and the cornerback position. Not a typical way a roster is constructed, or at least a winning roster. So, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer when Jason Licht comes out, the new GM, and says that he looks at Revis as an asset. And to me, in coach and GM and front office speak, an asset means a guy that can be moved for value in the trade market. I don't know if he can be moved at this point, to be honest with you, with the salary he's commanding. But I certainly know, and rightfully so, the Buccaneers and this new regime would be open to hearing offers. From Darrelle Revis and his new team to his old team in the Jets, and the rumors that the Jets could be interested in bringing in Michael Vick. To me, there's a couple layers to this. If they bring in Michael Vick, he's not, the kind of guy who's going to want to come there and accept the backup role. I think if he gets beat out fair and square like he did with Nick Foles in Philadelphia, I think that's a situation he can handle. But don't expect him to just be okay with being the backup. He's on the record of saying he wants to be a starter in the league. You bring Vick in, to me that tells me as a Jets fan, you probably don't have as much confidence in Geno Smith. And I don't blame the Jets for not having confidence in Smith. I want the best guy at that position that they can get. If they think that's drafting a younger guy in the second to fourth round, so be it. If they think it's bringing in a guy like Michael Vick, that's fine too. But, if Geno Smith is going to be the quarterback or whoever's going to be the quarterback, the big thing with the Jets is getting the weapons around these guys to even give them a chance to be successful here in 2014. From Michael Vick to a left tackle and Brandon Albert and Eugene Monroe for that matter. Two guys that are really going to, in my mind, really influence the market of the other. If Eugene Monroe, is able to hit free agency, I think he's going to be the most sought-after tackle. He's a little bit younger than Albert. He's been able to stay a little bit more healthy in recent years. But look for the Ravens to do everything they can to lock up Monroe before the free agency period. Because if they don't, a guy they traded for in the middle of last year, he's going to be in very high demand, which means he'll probably get overpaid. And I think Albert has a better chance of getting paid more money if Eugene Monroe also hits free agency, because I think Monroe will get more as a result, and that would bump Albert up a little more. But teams like the Dolphins, the Cardinals, teams like this are in dire need for a left tackle, and those two guys, and the Ravens for that matter, you have to let Eugene Monroe hit free agency. So I think these two guys especially are guys who are going to get paid at a premium position here in the NFL. Another premium position in the NFL, guys, is quarterback. And the backup quarterback for Minnesota last year, or one of them at least, was Matt Castle. And the thinking is if Matt Castle doesn't return to the Vikings, he could fit nicely as a backup in Bill O'Brien's system in Houston. And I think that makes perfect sense because no matter what Houston decides to do at the quarterback position, whether they decide to draft Blake Bortles, draft Johnny Manziel, or maybe take Jadeveon Clowney, I think Matt Castle in the mix there, quarterback, a guy who understands the system, a guy that I think can hold the fort down for 2 or 3 games if you need him to. Look for Matt Castle to reunite with Bill O'Brien in Houston. I think that makes a lot of sense not to happen unless Castle, for some reason, thinks the best place for him is Minnesota. And, a couple weeks back, I did my most likely salary cap casualties, and there were some rumors about Demarcus Ware that I pretty much shot down. I thought there was no way that Jerry Jones would ever cut Demarcus Ware. Based on some, some remarks Jones made recently to a local newspaper in Dallas, he sort of left the door open that, it's not out of the question that they could cut someone like a Demarcus Ware. I know Jones said that, and Jones, if anything, has the reputation of being too loyal to the players that have come through the system there in Dallas. So I'm a bit surprised that he would even say something like that. Leave it to me to be surprised by something Jerry Jones says. I'm probably the only one who is at this point, but I still would very highly doubt. I'll stand by that Demarcus Ware, the face of the franchise on defense for the Cowboys, would be cut by the team that drafted him way back when Bill Parcells was involved in the operation there in Dallas. And lastly, just to update you on the Ravens and Dennis Pitta, supposedly they're closing in on a deal. Nothing's imminent. I think you see them get a deal done. Obviously, Pitta doesn't want to be franchised. I think a 4-year deal at $20 million, would get it done. And it's a guy that's so valuable, as we saw last year to Joe Flacco. Mutual interest on both sides to get a deal done. So look for that to get done here before the start of free agency, and even before maybe with Pitta before the end of this week when it's the team's last opportunity to franchise the guy. Guys, let me know what you think of these rumors here that have been circulating the last couple of days and my take on them. Hit me in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. I do videos like this all the time regarding rumors for the draft and free agency and just a whole bunch of other videos here. So be sure to check them out and subscribe. It's completely free. Have a great day.